Marjorie Taylor Greene and I work in Washington, but we are not of Washington. And I must honestly tell you that the leaders of both parties in Washington, D.C. don't work for America First. They work for permanent Washington. Washington PACs fund their campaigns. Washington lobbyists broker their power. Their place in Washington drives every decision they make all throughout the day. And unfortunately, the wants and needs of the people often suffer. You know, the swamp is not just dangerous because it holds unruly creatures. There's a muck that sucks you in, drags you down, limits your escape. Marjorie and I are not powerful by typical measurements in Washington. She's lost her committees. I may lose mine. But we have a power that they can never take away, and it is tied to our connection to the people in this great country. You know who the fighters are. You can distinguish the phonies and the fakes from the real deal, and President Trump gave us the opportunity to see who is fighting for us clearly and decisively. America First means actually leaving Washington and going out into America. Part of being populist is showing that you are popular. Maybe our leadership should give that a try. If Liz Cheney could even find Wyoming on a map and went there, she would find a lot of very angry cowboys who are not happy with the fact that she's sort of for every war. War in Syria, for it. War against Trump and his supporters, for it. War against the Republican conference, war against her own voters. Well, it appears that enough of my colleagues on the Republican side have seen things our way, the way that we kind of laid out 3-4 months ago. And it appears that Liz Cheney may no longer be the chair of the Republican conference. This might be the first war she's ever sought to end. You know, the neoconservative war on the world might have been more tolerable if it wasn't also a war on the pocketbooks of so many Americans. Like, during the Obama, Bush, Cheney eras of interventionism, our gas prices were just through the roof. And during the Trump era of peace and prosperity and recognition for Israel and not starting new wars, actually, gas got a lot less expensive. So now, with a peace dividend, we have fewer of our bravest, most patriotic Americans coming home without arms and legs, and gas doesn't cost an arm and a leg in the Trump era. But you see now it's going up because of the bad decisions made by Joe Biden. We must put our citizens first. And speaking of citizens and citizenship, I don't think we should give citizenship to people who don't come to our country legally. Americans are dreamers too. But the Biden immigration plan is no dream, it's more of a nightmare. And there's this political coalition on immigration that team up to screw over the American people. So on the left, it's all about political power. That's the whole reason they are for limitless legal, illegal immigration, whatever they got to do to get people across the border. There are folks who were remaining in Mexico for their asylum claims to be resolved. Keep in mind, less than 1% of these people actually have valid asylum claims. But they were staying in Mexico, and now Biden is getting them in Mexico and distributing them in the United States as if they're going to show up for some asylum hearing. Do not let the Republican Party regress on this issue. Donald Trump showed clearly that we are not the party of amnesty.